Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. Today is the 10th of January 2025 already, and I'm coming to you today intentionally a bit late into the new year, intentionally because I know how we get sort of caught up, especially in the beginning of new year, with all these lovely things that we wanted to do. So I'm coming to you today to wish you a very, very, very happy new year. I'm hoping that by now you've settled well and you're probably back into your normal routine, sort of trying to find your feet again and go through with the New Year's resolutions. And New Year's resolutions is something that I really wanted to speak to you about because every year we make this resolution to become something different, to change, to be someone else, to be something else. And I would really like you to try and make a resolution to be yourself. It's a little different, I know, but hear me out. Instead of trying to become something else or something different or something that you're not or you haven't been but you always wanted to be, try imagine yourself being you, the whole 100% you, but having qualities and features of the personality of the person that you'd like to be, because it is not possible to go and change yourself within a day, only because it's the 1st of January, because it's the first day of the new year, because it's a new year. So this kind of whole new year, new me thing sometimes takes off really, really well. And by mid-month or the end of the month, we're sort of ready to give up. We're ready to give up because we haven't got the right tools to create certain changes, right? To create new patterns of behavior. We can't expect from ourselves to become someone different overnight, okay? It's not like it's magically going to happen from 31st to of December overnight to 1st of January, that you will wake up and you will become this whole brand new person, feeling super brave, super courageous, super ambitious, super anti-procrastination kind of person, and extra motivated, and you're ready to go and conquer the world and become something that you really haven't ever been but you really wanted to, right? It's hard. It's hard, and practically it's not much possible if you're not that kind of person from a set off. So I would like you to try imagining being you, as in yourself, as you are as a person, right? But learning and accepting all the challenges that come your way and really welcome them with open arms, and then try to learn different patterns of behaviors, right? Different reactions, create different reactions to certain things, right? So most likely throughout December, if not earlier than that, of last year, you started to create your New Year's resolutions, right? Your New Year's resolutions would be to become more, it could be that you want to be more assertive, it could be that you want to start up the gym, that you want to become more physical, that you want to become more fit, that you want to get on with your, I don't know, healthy eating, or stop eating junk food altogether. And we build up all these resolutions of trying to find more motivation to do things, and stop the procrastination, or reduce our sort of anxiety in social situations, and things as such, right? And we build up to them hoping that the new year is going to bring a change. So here's the news for you: nothing will happen on its own unless you put some work into it, right? So where you were staying in December of last year, it was a place called your comfort zone, right? You were there because you were comfortable. You never wanted to introduce any changes towards the end of December, because why do it at the end of the year if you can wait for the new year? This kind of new year, new me kind of concept that we sometimes really, really hold on to, hoping that, yes, it's going to happen. It's a new year, it's a new beginning. I'm definitely going to hit it off, and it's all going to happen. It's all going to come my way. So we try to manifest certain changes to become more sort of available to you from the beginning of the year. And you get yourself into this sort of thinking mode that things will change because you really want them to happen, right? But you really haven't got any idea how to start, apart from the fact that you're waiting for the new year. So the whole of the month, or even earlier and then December, you build up those resolutions. You create those ideas. You kind of create an image of how you want to look. If it's been more for being more assertive, or is it through changing your physical looks and so, right? You create certain images of yourself, and you're hoping that this will all come true. And then on the 1st of January, you kind of go in a bit cold turkey, on the whole thing, because you have been creating all those images in your head, but you also haven't been doing anything to sort of start implementing them into your life. Why? Because you were waiting for the new year. So now imagine after the whole sort of lovely Christmas period where you ate and drank and, had fun to your heart's full content, and you were so out there and socializing and, doing all the things that we usually do in December. And then suddenly January comes and you're going cold turkey. You're quitting everything, right? You're quitting alcohol, you're quitting unhealthy food, you're quitting socializing, you're going full on with like, ooh, today I've got to be brave, right? So guess what? That's most likely not going to happen. And if it happens, it will happen for a day or 2 or 5, and you will quickly crumble back into your old habits. Why? I've already given you an answer: because you haven't been prepared properly, or you haven't got equipped properly with the right tools to actually introduce those changes, right? They will not happen on their own, and they will not happen overnight. So you need to learn how to accept certain lifestyle, right? Or create certain changes that you really wanted to create. So imagine that you jumping into a deep end pool, but you don't know how to swim, right? Only because you are sure that you will learn how to swim this year, right? Well, what will happen? It's obvious. You will probably start drowning and you will need help getting out, right? So if you got in that water with a little swimming aid, you would probably manage, right? And you will start feeling a bit more comfortable in that water. And this way you will learn. You will create certain moves called swimming that will help you to get, to the side of the pool, or if you're somewhere, I don't know, in the sea, you'll get to the shore. But if you go right in, you dive straight in without having any knowledge on how to do it, you will not do very well, right? And that's exactly what happens with our habits, with the willingness to change our habits, right? If you haven't prepared yourself in the right way to change things, but you hoping for them to change, it will be very, very hard for you to actually introduce any changes. And because you will struggle with creating any changes, you will then quickly quit and wait again until maybe next Monday, or maybe next month, or why not altogether until next year, because you've already gone through January and it's not really worked really well, so why bother, right? So creating little opportunities for yourself and really embracing them, right? So having to look at what you can potentially do, right? And how to have that comfort zone that you like being in, how to have it move along with you, if that makes sense. So my idea here, my concept is not to jump out of the comfort zone as quickly as you can. And yes, we all know that, the great sort of achievements happen right outside your comfort zone. And as soon as you step out, the great things will happen. Well, yes, if you're a person that's brave enough to get out of that comfort zone, right? Some of you will be brave enough because maybe that is not their main issue, right? Maybe something that was holding them back was not certain sort of anxiety or lack of motivation, or sort of lack of self-belief, or maybe it was just lack of motivation, and they say, yeah, I know I'll be good enough in achieving my goals, but I just need to get motivated, and that will sort of help them get out there, and they will achieve those great things outside their comfort zone. But for quite a chunk of us, of our population, we feel comfortable in the comfort zone, and that's why we sometimes very often run back to it, because that's where we feel good, right? So instead of now trying to jump out of that comfort zone, full on cold turkey, where you completely don't know where you're going and you completely don't know what's going to happen, and you can only hope that great things will happen, right? anything that's been thrown your way that you're not familiar with, you will quickly be shot back into your comfort zone, and you will feel less and less brave every time before stepping out of there, right? So hear me out. My idea is to not to really jump out of the comfort zone, not to dive right into the deep end of the pool, but try and move your comfort zone with you, right? So you will be expanding your comfort zone, right? You will start by making more of baby steps towards your change, knowing and being fully aware in your mind that you will change and the changes will come, right? But they will be done in more of a baby steps, taking certain familiarities with you. Are you following? So if you feeling comfortable, I don't know, sitting in your own space, you're not really great being somewhere else in a place that you don't know. If you want to go and I don't know, if you want to go and watch the movies and you hate going to the cinema because you really want to go to the cinema, but you really hate going to the cinema because, you know, there are other people that you don't know, and someone may maybe say something to you that you don't really enjoy, or maybe you've lived through some kind of traumatic experience in the past, right? What do you do to sort of start implementing certain changes, right? So first of all, you will probably want to bring something with you that will remind you of your safe place, of your comfort zone, right? You may bring yourself, I don't know, something from home, a little, I don't know, little soft blanket, or some kind of a soft plush and things like that, right? It could be that you will start going to places that are much smaller, right? So you will be going to one of those cinemas that is not a full-on sort of Odeon kind of places where, you know, you've got quite a good crowd, but maybe more sort of homey places, you know, those little cinemas where you can sit comfortably in a big sort of chair and, you know, have a little snack like you would do at home, right? And you will probably bump into a few people, but it won't be just as many as you would see in the big cinema, right? Or if you want to quit your job, but you obviously don't know where to start because you are absolutely frightened of going to a new place, right? What you want to do first is do a thorough research. You want to go and find out what qualities they be looking for, right? If you're right fit, and start running interviews for jobs, even though you will know that you may not be successful at first. And sometimes before we land our perfect job, it takes huge number of interviews until we land it. But someone out there does need you, and to one company you will not be an asset, but to the other you will. So you mustn't stop. So this is like, I always say, like, the interviews are kind of like a little practice before the right interview, right? So you'll go through 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 interviews, and you will almost just about to be fed up or give up with what you're doing because no one wants me. Do not give up. Treat them as your practice, right? And then you will find yourself being much more comfortable going to interview number 6, 7, or 8, right? Because they will become kind of like your comfort zone. You will find yourself being better and dealing better with questions, with people. You won't be getting that anxious about going. And that's when you probably land your perfect job, right? The one that's really, really, really suitable for you. And the same with the gym. Say you wanted to start the gym and you really go around all these machines and weights and you're looking at them and it's like, what the hell is it? Like, you know, do I put my leg up there? Do I put my arm up there? What do I do with it? You don't know, right? So you start with something that's more familiar. You will get on, I don't know, a rowing machine or maybe on a treadmill, and you will start getting comfortable, right? So you will probably at first choose times when the gym is maybe the least busy. So you will go sort of maybe noontime when you know that it's, you know, it's not very crowded. And you will be probably watching people, you know, getting onto different equipment and doing their things. And then you will, you know, and then you will step out and you will decide to go and have a go, right? You will watch the coaches, the trainers, the instructors. You will watch other people do it, and in the end of the day, you will try. As long as you stay within your comfort zone, say in that gym, right, and just carry on. You can pause. You can watch. You can kind of step back and observe what's happening, right? We don't want to quit. We want to carry on and make that comfort zone that you've already expanded, say, from home to that treadmill, right? Feel comfortable. And then the next step for you will be to step off the treadmill and go onto the, I don't know, weights machine, right? Because you've looked enough, you observed enough, you know you can do it. So by the end of, say, following month, you'll be quite comfortable with using that. So this is expanding of your comfort zone. You're not jumping right out there, right? On January 1st, it's like, yes, I'm going to beat everything up and I'm just gonna, I'm just definitely going for it, I'm gonna get myself a trainer and I'm gonna do this and that. Or, it's, or same thing comes with like motivational procrastination, anxieties. Anxieties are terrible things to happen, right? They are terrible things to happen, but they are things that we can change to stop the anxieties coming on. And they are there. And if you do know them, if you have the right tools, you will be able to revert into yourself and think about why is it happening, what's happening right now, what's happening right now, right? And then you'll be able to actually act on it and work on it, right? So anything that you experience, it can be worked on, right? But you need to be sure that instead of jumping right out there and getting that sort of dreadful experience of like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And then quickly running back home into your blanket, sofa, or whatever comfort zone that you find yourself the most sort of comfortable with, right? You really want to expand it. So baby steps, take it nice and easy, right? Now, that's a bit of a challenge, but I would like you to imagine yourself being at the end of this year already. So imagine it's now December 2025 and you have changed, right? You've introduced all those little changes that you wanted to, or you've achieved some bigger things by introducing little changes, right? Imagine December 2025 and you're already there, right? You wanted to be more motivated, and you are. You wanted to end the terrible procrastination that was stopping you from doing a lot of things, right? Or you wanted to go and maybe do a solo trip somewhere to places that were, unknown to you, and your fear or anxieties were stopping you, right? Imagine that's already happened. Imagine you're there. And imagine how it feels. How does it make you feel? How does it really, really make you feel? What are your biggest accomplishments? And what are your smallest, the littlest, the tiniest achievements, accomplishments that you actually got to achieve this year? Right? What is your routine like? What's changed? How did you learn to manage with those changes? And you see, if you imagine yourself now going back to January and jumping right into the deep end again, right? And knowing how scared you were and how terribly you wanted to go back to your comfort zone, and imagine you did, right? At the end of this year, you're feeling absolutely shattered and you're feeling exactly where you were at the end of previous year, yeah? But if you did your baby steps and you sort of went slowly and you only dipped your fingers and your toes in the water and you thought, oh, okay, well, that feels all right, yeah? Let me try and go maybe like knee deep, right? Or then you want to go slightly deeper and then you're having a little swim, say, okay, that actually feels comfortable. So that's quite good. That's quite amazing. And this is exactly how I want you to feel. I want you to feel grateful for being slow, for introducing those changes slowly, right? For doing them in a way that suits you without listening to others saying, jump in, go get it, great things will happen. You just have to be sort of, you just have to withhold that discomfort, yeah? That's true. You have to withhold that discomfort, but make it baby steps. Make it smaller. Make it less stressful for yourself, right? Don't go and make this big sort of vows that you will be that great of a person within a month, right? Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself time. Imagine if you say, for example, 20 or 30 years old, and for majority of your life you were a shy person, what really chances have you got of stepping out of your house on January 1st and being the most sociable person in the area, or in the world, or wherever you want to be, right? Or suddenly getting back to work and chatting to everybody, and sort of making these amazing sort of connections with others and building up new friendships, right? What are your chances of that? They are quite small, aren't they? But if you really introduce smaller changes, right, and you sometimes stop and you pause, and like I said, pause is very important, right? Become mindful about what you're doing, see how things are being done, but do not step back into that comfort zone, yeah? Expand it, try and take it with you, make it more familiar. In thinking my other recording, I also gave an example of starting a new sort of career, or going into a new sort of courses, education, trying to get new qualifications, right? I remember when I went to train as a therapist, I did psychology, but then I went into life coaching, then hypnotherapy. So there was a lot sort of, progress happening from obviously when I started. And I always used to love talking to people, right? From the early age, maybe when I went through this sort of, little shyness phase, which I was really shy. And I had the major separation anxiety when it came to my mum. It was like, oh, don't leave me. It was the worst. But then there was a time when, by doing smaller things, I realized, well, okay, well, she's there. I can always get back to her, right? And then, I sort of, from the age of about probably like 13, I started sort of stepping out and going a little further, a little further. And I remember once going away on winter camp sort of holiday. There was a 2-week long holiday, and for a week I cried. I literally cried for a week. This is the times when we have no mobile phones, no video calls, basically no phone calls to parents. And I was, oh my goodness, I created some case scenarios in my head that some terrible things would happen because I'm not there, because I'm not home. And that was the worst. And I cried for a whole week. And they had to come and get me. Seriously, they had to come and get me. And the following year, was I maybe 13 that time? Yeah, so the following year, so when I was 15, so that must have been 14 that time. When I was 15, how it happened over that year, I don't know. But it's almost like that time when I went away and I cried because I wanted to go back home. And they did come and they did get me. My dad drove and, they got me back home and said, was it that terrible? I said, yes, it was really terrible, right? But then as I started reflecting back on it, I felt like, well, it wasn't that bad. And really nothing happened at home. It's not like they terribly missed me the way I missed them. I mean, they were thinking I was having a great time being with my friends, or, new friends or so, right? So the next time I remember saying to my dad, I said, I want to go to Spain. And my dad said, well, I won't be able to come and get you from there if you decide that you want to go back home. And I said, no. I said, no, definitely. I just felt so ready. It was a completely different sort of, mindset already, like knowing where I was going. And I felt less anxious, but more excited. So this is the time when I learned that the anxiety and excitement are very, very somatically, they're very similar feelings, right? And I could have been more anxious because I was going far away from home, right? I wouldn't be, 50 miles away from home. I was thousands of miles away from home, and I was okay with that. And it was the best holiday of my life, of my teenage life at that time, right? And if I would have probably stayed for longer. But anyway, where I'm going with it is basically that you learn to turn certain feelings into something else. You learn that the anxiety is almost the same as anticipation of what may happen. The same somatic feelings that you get somewhere around your belly or up in your chest or little heart flutter, they are the same things that you're experiencing when you're getting excited about things, right? So trying to almost convert those feelings, withholding that discomfort, but to only a certain extent. And what they did that time, my parents, they came and they got me when I needed them, right? So they let me go back into my comfort zone when I was able to go back and reflect of what happened and that it wasn't really that bad. And that allowed me to go and try it again next time round. And then I felt perfectly comfortable. If they didn't come and get me, if they didn't allow me to go back to that comfort zone, right, I wouldn't have probably been able to go away next year. I wouldn't been able to expand that comfort zone and go somewhere else, because I would have known that, oh my God, no, if anything happens, they will never come and get me. I'll be stuck there for long with people that I don't know, miles away from home, and that would be absolutely devastating experience, right? Because they allowed me to crumble back into my comfort zone, I felt great as soon as I got home. I mean, I was absolutely perfect, and I was like, what did I even come back for? But you know, you have to experience certain things. But that didn't stop me. It paused me. It let me reflect. It let me go back, and then I was able to do it all over again, right? So going back to the education and courses and so on, I was sure that I'd be good working with people, right? I felt I was kind of equipped enough after doing psychology courses, and I was like, I will manage that, right? But still, going back into the classroom, was it easy? No. Was I anxious? Yeah. But I was also excited at the same time. So I felt like, hang on a minute, what am I feeling here, right? It's like this little, you know, swelly little feel in your belly, and it's like, I said, yeah, well, it's a little scary. I am a little anxious, but am I excited? Well, yeah, this is what I'm here for. I want to learn new things, right? And then doing my, you know, case studies or seeing my first clients. I mean, was I anxious? Well, of course I was, right? I was starting a new career, and I was to work with people who come to me with major issues that they have to deal with. And I had to be there on the receiving end of it, but also to provide and to give help. Was it hard? Well, yeah, but it was also very, very exciting. And then seeing the results, right? And watching the results over the last couple of years and seeing what they have actually been able to achieve, right? Using my techniques or learning how to sort of, you know, get on with their things by creating, you know, their own private personal spaces and moving them along with them. I mean, that's just that's great, right? You know, you're doing the right thing. So as long as you're able to find your comfortable spot in an uncomfortable situation, you're a winner. This is what's going to make you feel much, much better, right? So you're not diving in feeling all scared, knowing that you won't survive, right? You bring your things with you. You make you make this place familiar, right? So next time when you go back, you will already be going back to a place that you have been to. So you already know where you're going. You can kind of know what to expect. You will know how to get there. You will probably know the seating plan. And that's in every sort of life situation. So again, if you try and imagine yourself going to the end of this year, so you're in December 2025, and you've achieved your goals, your New Year's resolutions have become your reality. They no more imagined goals or plans. They are actually there. You've achieved it, right? Will that stop you from going for more? No, it won't. Will it want you go for more? Yes. And that's where you want it, right? That's what you want to happen. You will achieve one goal, and that goal will create the next one. So you will carry on. So imagine yourself in that space. Imagine yourself in 2025, in December 2025, that you're already there. Your routine is amazing, right? You've got a plan, you know what you're doing. There will be things that will sometimes not work out. And that's absolutely fine. We're there to try new things. You try it once, you try twice, 3 times. If it doesn't work, you change the technique, but you don't quit, right? If something doesn't work, we have to change the way of doing it, right? If something is not right for you, you move on, you go and you find the next thing that you will be more comfortable with, right? So every failure brings us closer to our success. Every time that something doesn't work out, gives you a chance of working on another action plan. And that's something that will bring you closer to your main goal, right? And every goal and every achievement will create more plans and more goals. And that's what you want to go for. So imagine yourself being there. Imagine yourself being successful. Imagine yourself already achieving your goals, right? When you're feeling great, when you're feeling strong, when you're feeling that you're brave enough to sort of pick up some more goals and carry on, right? And soon enough, they will become your comfort zone. Picking up new challenges will be something that you will like to do. So do not stop. Do not stop. Make that New Year's resolution to be yourself, to make it about you, and only to learn new things and new techniques and equip yourself with the right tools to go and do what you are meant to do. So stay yourself, and just learn and embrace new challenges. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Anything that you want to ask or talk to me about, drop me a message. I'm always here to answer your questions. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, for you to tune into my more of my videos. And Happy New Year again. Thank you very much.